Hello and welcome to the What Women Want Today podcast. You might be asking yourself right about now, well, what do women want? I mean, we're pretty complex creatures, right? Well, I think we want it all, and I'm here to explore it with you. My name is Terry Kellums. I'm your host. Go grab your favorite beverage. I've already got my glass of wine, and let's get started. Hello and welcome back to another episode of What Women Want Today podcast. I am Terry Kellums, your host. Thank you so much for being here with me today. On the show today, I have Marie Scott with me, and we are going to have a great conversation about how you mourn the loss of a loved one and still move on to find happiness. Marie, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you with me today.
Thank you, Terry.
So Marie, I want you to introduce yourself. I know that you have a book coming out. We'll talk about that, but give us all the juicy stuff about Marie Scott.
So thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I retired from my technology career last year after 30 years with Oracle. And after my husband died in 2018, I was lying on the floor wondering, who do I take care of now? And the answer came back, you silly. So I healed myself and healed my mind, body, and spirit. And the result of that is finding new purpose and meaning in life for life part two. And I think when I healed my mind, body, and spirit, my heart opened and in walked Jeff. And last month we got married. And my friend Lee said to me, he goes, how do you rate? He goes, not only do you have one great love of your life, Dave, for 30 years, but now you've got a second? He goes, most of us don't even get one. So my purpose for life part two has become to help other widows and widowers learn to live well through clean eating and functional medicine, laugh again, and even find love again.
I love that you talk about purpose because that is a common theme on my podcast and the women that I coach. I also love that you talk about how health opened up your heart like that. That's very interesting. So I saw that you are a functional medicine wellness coach. Can you tell the listeners what exactly that is?
Yes. So after Dave died, he died of esophageal cancer. I went back to school to become a wellness coach because I wanted to learn more about the link between food and cancer. And the same year, my mom died of Alzheimer's. And so there's a very pronounced link between food and Alzheimer's. So I knew I couldn't help Dave or my mom, but I wanted to learn so I could help myself. And so I went back thinking I was going to learn a lot about nutrition, and I did. In fact, my first step of the 7 steps to healing is food is medicine. And so I really feel strongly about, becoming a health coach, defining my new purpose in life, and finding new community and new tribe. And it helped me get unstuck, which is a theme of your podcast as well. It helped me get unstuck. And you don't really move forward after tremendous grief. You march forward one step at a time.
You know, when I came across your topic, I have to say my heart just did a little in my chest because I have 3 women in my life who have lost husbands, and we're talking long-term marriages in the last couple of years. And I always say to my husband, like, I just can't imagine what it would be like to be married to somebody that long and, wake up and not like expect them to be next to you. I I imagine that feeling takes a long time to go away. So please accept the condolences on the death of your husband. But how do you do that? How do you have someone who is such a big part of everything you do every single day? How do you move on from that?
Well, it does take a lot of time. And for me, about 8 months in, I finally found myself smiling again. And the first time I laughed out loud, I had to do a double take because it was so strange. I said, what is that noise? And being a really positive person to begin with, and then going back to school, which is, always a lifelong learner, really helped me articulate the 7 steps to healing. And through those 7 steps, it helped me find new purpose in life. That's the 7th step. And, develop healthy relationships and sleep better. That was the worst thing. 30 years sleeping in the buff with this larger than life presence, waking up the next morning after morning after morning was the hardest thing. Slept like crap and it was the hardest thing to get over.
I can just only imagine what that would be like. And just like the everyday little things, like my mom passed away in 2012, and it took a long time after she passed away not to to, have something happen in my day and think, oh, I'm going to call my mom, and, their phone number is still in your phone for the longest time. But you say that, one of the ways to find your way out of grief is through laughter. And I loved that. So you and your husband, your deceased husband, laughed a lot from what I understand. And tell me about how you use humor every day.
Yeah. So my friend Deb, who's also a widow, in the early months of my new status, which I hated calling myself a widow, I asked her, I said, Deb, how do you get through every day? And she said to me, and I'll never forget this, I find something to smile about
Oh,
every single day. And that grew into an attitude of gratitude. And I journal every morning and every night. What am I grateful for? And it just makes such a huge difference in your heart to find something to be grateful about. And this morning was beautiful sunrise that I can see out the
yes,
back lanai. And it doesn't have to be major. It can be little things like a
yes.
good cup of coffee, but it makes all the difference in the world in setting
It
the
really
tone for the
does.
day.
I feel like, if you can wake up and as soon as you like are conscious and aware that you're awake, if you can start to say things like affirming things like today is going to be a wonderful day. Today is, amazing. I am prepared for my day. Like just anything to get those first few thoughts of the day out there that are, they're ones something to look forward to and to be grateful for. I'm actually doing a 30 days of gratefulness right now with a group of women. And yeah,
Awesome.
and I feel like when you have something to focus on every day like that, like if you have to, or you're going to be called upon to talk about something that you're grateful for, you tend to look for more things to be grateful for, and less things
Yes,
to sort of like ruminate and complain about. Would you agree with that?
absolutely. Yes. And I believe that the conversation you have with yourself in the morning is the most important conversation
Oh,
you'll have
yes,
all day. So, treat yourself with kind words and get that little gremlin off your shoulder and just treat yourself with
absolutely. I love
kindness.
that. I love that. So you went to school and you got certified to be a wellness coach. And how did that lead to you writing your book? Let's talk about your book for a little bit.
Yes. So it started out as a journal. And it was funny because when I first got the copies last week when we got back from Idaho, it was like shocking. It's like this started out as a black journal, and I love to write, and in my career I wrote years of
Hmm.
training manuals, so I'm used to writing and writing and writing, and so I started this as a journal, and every day I journaled because Dave and I
Wow.
traveled the world. We had so many great memories, and he was in the fire department. So if you want to talk to somebody about funny stories, he had a
Hmm.
million of them. And so, just jotting down stories and memories, because when someone dies that's so significant in your life, that's all you have
Oh,
left are memories and
yes.
thousands of pictures. So I just wrote and wrote and wrote. And about 6 months later, I'm looking at this black journal with all the post-it notes and, airplane napkins I'd write on, anything I could find to write on when something would pop in my head. I said, well, there's a book here. And a while later, I meditated. I try to
Hmm.
meditate every morning. I was meditating and woke up, and the 12 chapters came to me. And so through creating this took
Wow.
3 years, and it was a 3-year project. The next three books won't take that long, but it was an amazing process. And so I wrote a blog post yesterday of how I wrote a book, and it started
Mhm.
as a journal. And it's so many people, and
I,
journaling is
I
so
100%
therapeutic,
agree.
just
Yes.
jotting down memories.
Love that.
Yeah.
I know me and my husband always say, because we love to travel too, we always say, we should write this stuff down because we're not always going to remember all these little details someday. But yeah, I agree with you. I'd love to look back on the pictures. And, we have one of those Google Home things, and the pictures just kind of rotate through it. And once in a while, a picture will come up from, a long time ago. And we're like, wow, how could that have been that long ago? It seems like it seems like we just went on that trip. So yes, the journaling and the
I
memories
know.
are great. And then you also sort of took this thing that I don't like to say things happened to you, but an experience that you had, losing your husband and sort of like coming out of it. You also turned that into an opportunity to go out and speak to other women too. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes. Yep, and it's so heartwarming when a widow sees me and the positivity and the new life that and the new purpose I created. It's so heartwarming to hear them say, "You're such an inspiration,"
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's what I want to give other widows and widows, hope that there is a light at the end of the grief tunnel.
Yeah. And so you said you've been a widow since 2018. So that's like
Yes,
about 3-ish years now.
coming up to 4. Yeah, it was
Coming up to
early
4.
2018. Yeah.
And you just got remarried.
I
Congratulations.
did, totally unexpected.
How did you meet your husband?
So I had packed up my house in Charleston, and I said I'm just going to go to Florida for a couple months. It's a year and a half later, and I had healed my body, lost 30 pounds through just changing my food preferences. My smile came back, and I thought, there's nothing left here in this community. It's all couples and families. So I want to change. I'm just going to go to Florida for a couple months. So I found this glorious condo on Siesta Key, and I rented it for a month. And as time went on, I said, wow, I really, really love Sarasota. Jeffrey was there in Sarasota working on a high-end beach renovation. It was a resort beach renovation in Longboat Key. So I love to dance. I love to eat out. And I was at this place called Madison's and in Main Street, Sarasota. And my friend was supposed to be with me, but I ended up alone. And I'm okay with that. I've traveled alone for a long time. And so I was sitting at the bar and enjoying a wonderful farm to table meal. And I see this guy dancing with every woman in the bar, dancing on the dance floor. Our eyes met, we smiled, and we haven't stopped dancing since.
Oh, I love that story. That's awesome. So
And then quoting it.
was he a widow as well?
No, but he had been divorced for 10 years. He was married for 22 and divorced for 10.
I know this is going to be a very, very generalized question and hard to probably answer, but I feel like a lot of the women that I talk to, they tend to say, well, if something were to happen to my husband and I was still fairly young, I would not get remarried.
Yes.
But the men seem to want to get remarried a little faster. Are you finding that to sort of be true as you move around and talk about this?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And that's why the percentage, there's 17.9 million widows and widowers in the US and Canada alone.
Wow.
And 90% of them are women.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And for a couple of reasons. One is because women live longer.
That's
Two
true.
is because men usually, I talk to some widowers and it's like 3 months they're married again.
Yeah.
Now, it may not last, but they just need that security of a woman in their life.
Right. Someone to take care of them.
I went out and got a security system. And,
there you go.
But men want to find a woman like shortly after. 6 months is the average that they get remarried.
Seriously, 6 months. I always joke with my husband, it'll be about 2 weeks. He can't go that long without someone taking care of him. But oh. So the other thing that I would say that midlife women say is, I don't care about intimacy anymore. And so I don't really need to get married. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, the first time Jeffrey kissed me, I totally, absolutely melted. And it's like, wow, where did that come from? Because when you're married that long, it gets really, really comfortable and, the passion simmers down a little bit. But when Jeffrey kissed me that first time, he had this look in his eyes and just kissed me and kissed. It awakened things that hadn't been awakened in a long time.
Oh.
And it's truly incredible that, you can feel this passion. We both feel like we're 29 going on 18. So, both in our 60s. And it's like, this is incredible. It's incredible. And I never, ever expected it. And that's not why I wanted a partner. I wanted somebody to have fun with and adventures, never dreamed I'd get married again.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think we were just having this conversation over a neighbor's house the other night. Because he joked that if he were to pass away, she'd be better off without him because of a money situation. I don't remember all the details, but we kind of laughed about that. And I said, well, yeah, for sure. If Brian were to pass away before me, like I'm not letting another man touch my money. So I said, I just need him for like dinners and movies and, trips here and there. But Yeah. So I think it's a very generalized statement, but I think women tend to lean towards I really don't need to get married again, but maybe I
Right.
want to get married again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys live in Maine full time then?
No, we live, so it's really funny. When COVID hit, I flew up to see Jeff and I thought it was just going to be a week. I flew up and landed there with my snakeskin boots and my raincoat on, and the world totally shut down. I was on my way to London to give a speech, and that Thursday is when the world shut down. So I thought, well, I'll just fly to Maine for a week. And 2.5 months later, we got out of Maine. So he lives in a glorious, glorious place in the world on Abrams Pond. It's outside of Bar Harbor.
Okay.
And so we've got like tremendous plans. We added 2 bedrooms on the back of, it's called camp. It's the main thing.
Okay.
And so we added 2 bedrooms on the back, great big garage, two lots next door. We're going to do Airbnb and also hold widow retreats because being on the water is just so healing. And
Yeah.
in a beautiful place like that, I think it would be awesome. So that's the plans for September next year.
Wow. Well, make sure that you let me know so I can help you spread the word about that because I think that sounds wonderful. I always talk about, the importance of community and,
Yes.
it really doesn't matter what part of your life you're going through. I believe very strongly that healing happens in community. So, whether it's just you're in midlife and menopause is really kicking your butt and you don't want to go through it alone, or, what you're talking about there with, a group of people that are kind of all experiencing some of the same things. That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. And it's so powerful because when you're a widow or widower, it's like a unique class of people. You really don't know, how other people are going to see you, or if they're going to take advantage, or if they're going to like prey on you. Like, is there a big W on my forehead?
Yeah.
It's just a different world because, like you said, every single thing is different. And to
Yeah.
be in a community of like-minded widows and widowers is incredible. I was at Camp Widow last month in San Diego, and they highlighted my book at the Camp Widow bookstore. And it was an incredible community. And the funny thing is, Jeff came as my guest. He wanted to be by my side, which has really amazed me. And so he had a tag on with his name, Jeffrey Gordon. And all these women are coming asking Jeff, are you a widow? Are you a widower? Are you widowed? And it's like, no, I'm not. And I'm with her. Because they're mostly women. There are like 400 women there, and probably 370, 380 were women.
Wow.
So yes, it's that sense of community, knowing that you can walk up to anybody and say, "What's your story?"
Mm.
And just get the conversation started. We make some wonderful friends there.
Yeah, I imagine. So you've got the book, which is on pre-order right now, but comes out December 1st. Is that what you said? Ships
Yes,
December
December
1st.
1st.
Okay, and they can find that on your website, mariescottwellness.com, correct?
Yes.
And you also are all your coaching services available through your website as well, or how would someone find you for the functional wellness coaching?
Yeah. So what my plan is after I became a health coach, it helped me articulate the 7 steps to healing, and they're not rocket science, but it's really designed to help women get unstuck
Mm.
from being a widow or widower, help them get unstuck and teach them how to cook for one. That's the hardest thing.
Mm.
Many
Oh, I imagine.
widows say, it's just me. I won't cook. I'll have popcorn, cheese, and crackers. But I feel really strong. If you don't feel good, you're not going to want to embrace life again. But by eating better and feeling better, you're going to want to live better. So that's the number one. And then the seven steps to healing after loss is going to be a 7-week program, which is going to incorporate all the things I learned through becoming a wellness coach.
Oh,
And I
okay.
use the term wellness coach and health coach interchangeably, same thing.
Yeah. So is that when I was on your website, I saw that you do workshops. So is it kind of the workshop is the going through the 7 steps then?
It will be, yes. In fact, this week I've launched the 5 days of hope from
Okay.
widowhood to wellness. So that'll be the introduction to anyone who wants to dive in deeper. And really, my first question is, are you ready to embrace life again?
Yeah.
If you are, I can help you with the 7 steps.
Wow. I think I even saw that you teach them how to grocery shop. Was that?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I didn't know that.
I need help with that now.
So the secret is to shop around the perimeter,
That's what
not
I
the
do.
middle.
Yeah, I actually do that. I've heard that before. Do you know who the medical medium is?
I do, yes.
Yeah, I like him. I think I learned that from him a while ago. But yeah, I really agree with you. If you're not well, you're going to be distracted by your illnesses, right? So the first step I hear you saying is focus on you and your health and make sure you're eating properly so that you can feel good.
Yes,
And you lost 30 pounds. That's fabulous.
yeah. In
Congratulations.
6 weeks.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And so then the second step would be you wanted to share a couple of the steps real quick?
sure.
Okay.
Yep. So the first concepts are all about self-care because again, as you heal yourself, then you're going to allow finding new purpose to enter your life. So the second step is meditate to reduce stress.
Oh, yeah.
And I was never a believer. I mean, I thought, no, my monkey brain, it doesn't ever stop. I can't meditate. And I just kept at it. And somebody said, if you do something for 30 days, it becomes a habit.
Right.
And it really, really works. So it's been about 3 years now since I've been meditating. And it can be as little as 10 minutes in the morning. It can be lying down in bed or sitting up. It's
Yes.
not complicated. It can just be sitting with yourself and your breath. It's really so powerful.
Right. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Marie, I am so happy for you. I'm so happy that you found love again. Congratulations again on your marriage.
Thank you.
I want to make sure everybody knows where to find you. So, can you tell us all the places?
Yes. Everything is Marie Scott Wellness, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. I have a Facebook group as well, Marie Scott Wellness. So join the Facebook group and start communicating with other like-minded widowed people and sign up to get a copy of the book.
There you go. I will include all that information in the show notes so they can be sure and find it very quickly and easily. Marie, thank you so much for
Perfect.
being with me today. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Terry.
Take care.
Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as I did. If you'd like to continue the conversation, come on over and join our private Facebook group, What Women Want Today. I'd love to hang out with you some more there. Any resources mentioned in today's episode will be in the show notes. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at What Women Want Today Podcast, or visit my website at whatwomenwanttoday.com. Please remember to subscribe, download, and share. Leave me a review. It helps other amazing women find the show and become a member of our community. One last thing for you today. You are not alone. You are worthy of love and a fulfilled life. Now it's time to go after it.